I'm almost 11 hours into Octopath Traveler 2. I've recruited all the characters, and I have a couple of the secondary jobs, and I'm really enjoying myself so far. Normally in these in-progress reviews, I want to talk about like how much fun I'm having or the problems that I'm having with the game, and I do have a couple small complaints that I want to bring up. But my main goal with this in-progress review, because I'm still very early on, I've only done one Chapter 2 so far, is to talk about what's mainly different from the previous game. And if you enjoyed the first one, obviously you're going to enjoy this one. But if you didn't enjoy the first one, is there stuff here that might bring you back? Is there stuff that might convince you to give Octopath Traveler 2 a try when you didn't enjoy the first game? And honestly, yeah, I think so. I haven't seen any of the connected stories yet, though I know that there are some ways that the stories connect. Some extra paths you can do that are really interesting, I've been told, but I haven't yet unlocked any of those. But I have found the in-party dialogue to already be a huge step up from the first game. Little things like Particio telling Ochette she did a good job, or Hikari telling Oswald that was a nice hit. Things like that are really, they go a long way to building up this party of travelers together in my mind, as compared to just being 8 people that are all around each other but don't talk, other than travel banter every once in a while in the first game. I think that the combat so far has been really solid. The changes to Chapter 1s are really good, where now you only have the original character for the entirety of their Chapter 1, because it kind of doesn't make sense for 3 much stronger people to show up suddenly right at the end of your Chapter 1 like you did in Octopath Traveler 1. But balancing that out, it also means that some of those bosses are a lot more difficult. And for instance, Thrones, I had to try 4 times before I beat the final boss of her Chapter 1. I think all told it is a good change, and I think the combat so far has been really great. One of the big new additions in this game is the latent talents, and the latent talents are a thing that build up as you take damage or deal damage that allow you to do not just a super move, though for some characters it is a super move, right? But also a support ability, like giving you all your BP, like charging your BP gauge fully, or making it where your attacks that hit the entire enemy party only target one person instead, so they do more damage to that one person. Playing around those, plus the new changes to the jobs, feel really, really good. I like that a lot. It's really fun to build up a latent power and then to sit on it for just the moment you need it, or in the state of like the super attacks, to use it when the chips are down and you really need it to shake up the enemy party or to take out a boss. It's really fun. The world's been really interesting to explore so far, and I think a part of that is how much better the classes all seem to like synchronize now. The changes now, obviously, like Thief not being able to steal SP, that's kind of a pain, but Merchant getting rest, that makes it where they can get their SP back, and then you could also give your Merchant, say for instance, the Cleric as a secondary class, so you have a healer that has infinite SP. There's a lot of cool combinations you can do with the jobs like that, and they're really enjoyable to me. The soundtrack so far has been exceptional. I love the soundtrack so far, and the stories have all been really solid. I think that some of them have been stronger than others for me personally, but I like all of these characters quite a bit. And again, the little party dialogue you get here and there just builds that up for me, of this is a group of 8 people that all have very different goals, that all have very different journeys to take, but they're going to take them together. And that's all I wanted from the first game, really. Obviously, I still want more cross dialogue between the party, but what I've gotten already is so much better than what I had that it's hard for me to feel disappointed, even if this is all I get, you know? My biggest complaint is that your main character that you choose at the start is still locked into your party. So if you're somebody like me that likes to keep all your characters around the same level, that is impossible to do. You cannot do it. I chose Oswald first, and so Oswald is locked into my party, and I cannot switch him out, when it would be really nice to be able to switch out and have 2 teams of 4 that you just bring in and keep around the same level. That would be really fun. And I've seen some people suggest, well, you just play through the entire game as 4 characters and then come back through and play through the entire game again as the other 4 characters, basically, to do all of their stories. And while I understand why people might do that, and I don't blame anybody that does, a lot of your progression in Octopath is tied to gear. And so I feel like at that point it's just, all right, I'm either going to outgear everything with the 4 characters that I decided to use, or I'm going to choose not to use the overpowered gear that I have from in-game, and instead I'm just going to make do, I guess. And that doesn't sound fun to me either. So for me, I'm just going to run through with all 8 of them, try to keep all of them except for my main character around the same level, because again, level's not that important, it's mostly gear, and I'm going to spread the gear out around them so that I can hopefully attempt to level them all roughly together except for my main character, and keep a pretty concise power level across the entire party. Another thing I really like about this game so far is that your secondary jobs, your extra jobs, I guess you could say, all have licenses for the most part that I've seen, where you can apply them to more than one character at a time, which is really cool. If I wanted a whole party of scholars, I could have that. The same places where you get those extra jobs, the guilds, also have NPCs that'll tell you about legendary weapons that are out in the world and give you a clue on how to find them, and I can already see myself going to find all of those. This world is dense, but in a really cool way, where everywhere I go, I'm finding cool stuff. There's treasure around every corner, there's an NPC around every corner that maybe that NPC may not seem very important, but you can bring them along with Agnia, or you can bring them along with Ochet, or you can hire them as Particio, or if you have them with Agnia, then maybe when you do a dance move with her, you get a different dance ability, or if you have them with Particio, then when you sell something, you get a different bonus because of it. Things like Hikari, being able to learn cool new moves from NPCs. It's not just, hey, I'm going to challenge them because I can. It's there's a reason to do it. And he's got those moves forever. I'm going to scrutinize this person, and I'm going to find out a clue for another quest that I had no idea was even tied to it. I just scrutinized them because I could. Or mugging somebody because you can't afford the item that you want to buy. There's so many cool ways that all these characters interact, and I haven't even talked about my favorite new feature, which is on the Hunter. In the first game, Hanit was a really cool character, but you can only use her Hunter summons so many times before they were gone forever, and then you'd have to go capture them again. Ochet doesn't have that problem. She can just summon them as much as she wants, and it's really cool, but you have a limited capacity on how many you can carry, so you'll have to prepare some of them as meals so that you can capture more. And it's a really cool balance of I'm finding new cool monsters as I go, and I'm trying not to kill them so I can capture them, and then I have them forever, but eventually they're going to get replaced, and when they are replaced, I can turn them into an item that allows me to bring more people with me by befriending them. It all ties back into a really cool loop that makes Octopath Traveler 2 a ton of fun, and I'm really enjoying myself with it, even though I'm still very early on comparatively with the rest of the story, right? I haven't done but one chapter 2, and I need to see the rest of them. Obviously, I want to do all of them. I want to see where everything goes, and I'm just really enjoying my time with it so far. I think that the quality of life changes that have been made from Octopath Traveler 1 are a huge step up, and personally, I'm really looking forward to seeing where this game goes. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and until next time, I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that Octopath Traveler 2 has to offer.